I'm done. I quit. What's the point? Am I even good? Who even watches this? I'm burnt out. Enough is enough. I'm out. That's what goes through a lot of creators' heads nowadays. They're burnt out. They put all this work into something, and they just don't feel like pushing through. And if you feel like that, I get it. I've been there. I've been in that position where you create some amazing content, you go and you get after it, and you think, all right, cool, people are gonna watch this, and the engagement sucks. People aren't reposting it. People aren't liking it. And you start thinking, do I even want to continue this? Like I said earlier, what's the point? Fam, this is a conversation that a lot of us have with ourselves constantly. And I'm here to tell you, you are not alone. This is, I know, a little bit more of a different kind of vibe than what I usually talk about. I usually have like some behind the scenes and some different conversations. But I have a different podcast, where I talk, where it's actually called Talks with Rods. And in that, we definitely go through just some different ideas of what we go through, in our Christian walk and things like that. But as a creative, I know I can speak for myself where sometimes we put ourselves in such a box, right? Put ourselves in such a position where if something doesn't go right, it's all our fault. And again, you have to take responsibilities for things you do, obviously. But there comes a point where you just gotta do the work for you, right? Do that passion project. Take some time off. And that is a big thing. I know, nowadays it's all about grinding and getting after it. And I'm all for that, right? I'm all for just getting after it and just, giving 110% what you're doing, emptying the tank every single day. I talk about that all the time. But it's also important to do something, one, that you enjoy, right? Like if you're a fashion photographer and you're doing street photography and you don't like street photography, all right, yeah, I might pay a bill here and there, but is that something that you're going to do for the rest of your life? Is that something that, whatever happens, you'll keep on having that fire, that passion for it, right? These kind of talks, right, I'm going to definitely try to incorporate more. I don't know what I'm going to call them yet. They might be called, raw and uncut. I used to call the other ones unfiltered. We could call that too. Well, I don't know. We're going to figure that out as we go. But I guess the title for today, if we're going to put a thing, right, if there's going to be a topic, is don't give up on yourself, right? This is just the raw and uncut version of the thoughts that sometimes go through our heads, right? I know as creatives, we put, like I said, all this pressure on ourselves, right? This has to go through, we have to make the client happy. And that's very important. That's all 100% valid things. But if it comes at the cost of your peace, maybe, hey, instead of trying to go and get 10 different little small jobs, wait, refine your craft, get to that one big job and do it that way, right? Because if you continue in that route, you're going to get a lot of people that I've seen, right? A lot of people that I've watched on YouTube for a very long time, you get burnt out. You want to take a step away from it. And now it's not just, I'm going to take a couple of days off. No, I need to take a month off. I need to take a week off. I've even seen people take a year off, right? One of these biggest, for me, the dynamic duo, Peter McKinnon, and Maddie. Maddie took some time off. If you don't know who Maddie is, I'll try to put his thing right here for, his link for his videos. Phenomenal filmmaker, just really great at what he does. Peter McKinnon talks about it too, right? Shout out to, to the GOAT, right? To Peter McKinnon, because he talks about, sometimes you have to take a step back and post less, right? Make an initial, take the initiative. That's the way he put it. Take the initiative to go and, create something that it's fun for you, right? That's worth taking your time out. It's hard to earn time, right? It's hard to earn money. You're going out there and spending on the gear, on the stuff, for a project that you don't even like. Why would you do that to yourself? Do something that you enjoy, right? Get after that. I was watching an interview, and he's a Spanish artist, and he was talking about how he started doing podcasts, right? He's a hip hop artist. Well, not really hip hop. He's more like reggaeton kind of artist, and he talks about how, when he started doing the podcast, right, he did it because he enjoys it, right? He really has fun with it. He likes to just talk with his buddies, with some random people. And that's why he really got into it. And he's like, you know what, I'm going to do it. He told his team, we're going to post twice a month. And people are like, oh, but, people are not going to really follow that too much. You have to, clip so much things. And obviously the algorithm, for sure. But he's like, I get that, but I want to do this for me. I want to have fun with this. If I post something extra, for sure. But I don't want to go and push myself to not enjoy something. And I thought it was really interesting because obviously, he makes a lot of good money, but he's diving into something. And mind you, by the way, his podcast is doing phenomenal. And it's a lesson in that phrase, sometimes less is more, right? If you go and let's say you post twice a month, then would you have 2 full weeks just to get after, make some amazing good content, to then put it out there. You don't have the stress of like, oh, I need to post something every single day. I need to have a video by this week, right? You just go when you focus on creating that really good content for that day. Then you get 2 weeks to do another piece of content and enjoy yourself. If along the line you create something different, for sure, that's awesome. And that's actually kind of what happened here. I was out with some friends. We were out there having a good time, relaxing. It's part of a media team that I'm a part of, and we went bowling. Like we didn't talk about work. We didn't go into like let's bring all our cameras out. We just went and we bowled and had a good time. Are we amazing? No, but we had fun with it. We were laughing. We were in a fellowship. It was a great time, right? And sometimes you need that. You need that recharge, with your colleagues, with your teammates, with, people you work with, maybe just some friends. Maybe, you can't be around, and this is okay too, right? You can't be around other creatives on your time off because you're always thinking, what's the best angle, what's the best lighting, this and that. Maybe you got to go hang out with some friends that aren't creatives, right? You can hang out, let's say if your friends that like to go fishing, or your friends that like to go to a basketball game, or, insert whatever it is there. I am very privileged and blessed that, the core that I have, the people that I work with all the time, like we have other interests so we can have fun outside, just like, the camera aspect of things and the gear and the production. So that's pretty fun for me. But if I didn't have that, it would definitely be something that I would strive to look for. Sometimes, and this is just me, it's just like the personality that I have. I have no problem going somewhere by myself, grabbing the camera, right? So if I want to, if not, I'll leave it at home, and just going, to a different spot, go get some breakfast somewhere, get a lunch, get a coffee, just relax, people watch, go see a movie. It's great. Like, do something that will help you unplug. For me, something that I've started to do a whole lot more is that if I'm going, I'm editing, like a street style video with like different things and like just transitions and just something super wild, and I feel like I'm not getting anywhere, I take a break, right? And I'll go and I'll put on like a cooking show. I know, nothing to do with the photography. I just watch a cooking show. And I don't watch it to try to like dissect the angles and what kind of lights to use. No, I watch it because it's fun for me. I enjoy it. Or I'll go to the gym. I'll go play a sport. I'll do something that gets my mind off of that. So when I get back to this project, right, I'm like, okay, you know what? I got the jitters out. I got the feelings out. I got up, got moving. Let me look at this with some fresh eyes, right? And maybe that's what you have to do, right? Maybe as a creative, you've gone so saturated with yourself and just that's all you do is just work. And then now when something big comes up, right? Or not even something big. Actually, I'll rephrase that. The most smallest inconvenience comes up. A battery, you forget a battery, you like blow out and you crash out. Like there's a new phrase, crashing out. Why? Right? It's not that serious. You forgot some batteries. Go really quick, go back inside the house, go grab some batteries. Now, if you forgot a SIM card, like most of us have, you have to admit it, we've all done that before. Then, all right, I get that part. But, sometimes you feel burnt out, you feel just angry at a project. You might not, like what you're doing anymore. You might need to take a really long break. It's because you burnt out, right? And I know for me, I am definitely, for lack of a better word, guilty, right, of doing that sometimes, right? I'm like, okay, I have to post this and I have to post that. I have to cut this reel and have to do this. And again, like I said, work is important. You have to, have your organization skills and get after it. That's all great. But where in all that do you fit time to like clear your head, right? I have a really good friend of mine. Her and her husband, they go for walks. And they'll go with their dog, they'll go hang out. And mind you, they're phenomenal like wedding photographers. Shout out to them. But they'll go on walks, they'll go on trips, right? They'll go and they just had a baby recently. They'll take the baby out to a zoo or to like a museum. And that's their way of disconnecting from it all, right? One, they work together, so they have to also balance that as well. But because they take that time, they schedule this time to like, okay, you know what? Today's gonna be our day off. We're gonna go and take the baby here. Or you know what? Today we're gonna have a date night. They're doing these things that really help them come together as a couple, come together as creatives, but most importantly, it gets their mind off things, right? So whatever it is you're trying to do, whatever it is that you're trying to get after and it's a goal, for sure get after that. But make some time, right? Organize yourself. Even if you have to go make a calendar. All right, from this time to this time, I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to scroll my phone for 10 minutes. I'm going to watch a movie. I'm going to do something. I'm going to go for a walk, whatever. When you're done, cool. Get back into work. Yeah. I know this is helpful for me, so I want to share it with you guys, which is why I popped everything up really quick, put the lights out, and decided to talk to you guys because I like these conversations, right? It's not really like a podcast. It's just a conversation between us. And again, I don't really have a name for it yet. I guess we'll call this one like Raw and Uncut. But yeah, this will be episode 1. If that's what we're going to call it from now on. This will be episode 1. So hopefully this is something you guys can take with you guys. This is something that, you're taking a break as you're watching this and not going and editing and pulling your hair out, trying to figure out what, the fonts that you need in the right, color scheme. Just take a break, right? Hang out with Rods. We'll have a little conversation. We'll hang out. We'll just take a little break together. Yeah. I love you guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you can see any of these videos and these talks. Follow me on Instagram, Vision Media. And just like I said, remember why you fell in love with this project in the first place. Remember why you fell in love with photography, with fashion, with production, whatever it is. Remember why you started in the first place. Go back to that, and that will help you just like give yourself like a gut check. Like, okay, what's important? Is this really that big of a deal? Am I, in the need of taking a break before I burn out? And just relax. Yeah, I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next one.